Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collins, and I want to tell you all about my show, the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. On the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we do a thorough analysis on the biggest issues and trends within the pro wrestling industry. We talk a lot about pro wrestling media, we talk a lot about fan culture and wrestling's place within general pop culture, and we talk about the broader influences that are shaping the way we discuss and analyze the pro wrestling industry. We've had some of the brightest minds in the pro wrestling intelligentsia on the show, including WrestleNomics host Brandon Thurston, both Rich Craich and Joe Lanza from the Flagship Wrestling Podcast, Trevor Dame from the Through the Years podcast, and a whole lot more. This isn't a show for hot takes. It's not a show recapping the latest episode of television. This is a show focusing on the biggest topics in pro wrestling and doing a deep dive on the real stories behind the surface level analysis you might find elsewhere. The Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, and we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a try. Thanks.
Hey everyone, what you're about to hear is a free preview of a podcast on our Patreon. If you want to hear the full thing, please go to flagshippatreon.com and subscribe to either our $5 or $10 tier. A subscription to the $5 tier gives you access to most of our bonus audio, including Flagship Plus, the Overrun, as well as retro content like Jovember to Remember, our retro audio documentaries, as well as exclusive breaking news reports. You can upgrade to the $10 tier and unlock all of our bonus content, including written columns and reviews, as well as live shows like Instant Reaction Live and the Flagship Live, as well as all of the other benefits available on the $5 tier. Once again, that's flagshippatreon.com. And now to the free preview of one of our exclusive episodes.
It is Flagship Plus, your supplemental flagship content for Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. It's going to be a very AEW-centric edition of Flagship Plus. In fact, it's going to be wall-to-wall AEW as we review the weekend shows, Rampage and Collision, and then do a preview of Blood and Guts coming up tomorrow on Wednesday from Nashville, and then some thoughts as well when it comes to the continuing rumors of AEW being on the goal line, at the finish line, in the red zone, on the precipice of a new deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. I will give you my take and my opinion on the latest when it comes to their new media rights deal. First, let's talk about the ratings over the weekend from Collision and Rampage. Rampage did 284,000 viewers and a .10 in the demo. That was down 16% in total viewership from the week before. Remember, Rampage had a surprisingly great week the week prior, setting some highs in viewership and demo over the previous few months, and down 17% in the demo from a .12 to a .10 this week. For Collision, 472,000 viewers and a .15. That was up 30% in total viewership and up 7% in the demo, which really, that's just, they went from a .14 to a .15 in the demo. But a huge 30% jump in total viewership from the week prior. Remember, though, Collision went up against news coverage of the attempted assassination of presidential candidate Donald Trump the week prior, which undoubtedly hurt the total viewership from that standpoint. So, and Collision did go up against the WNBA All-Star Game, which normally wouldn't be much of a factor at all, but with the WNBA having a massive spike in viewership this year with the addition of, largely on the back of Caitlin Clark, the former Iowa star, the WNBA All-Star Game did much better numbers than it typically does. I think I read somewhere the third highest numbers for a WNBA game, either on ESPN or whatever the case may be. But Collision had to go up against that, which was the primary sports competition on Saturday. It's always something on Saturdays, though. So considering that, to do 472,000 viewers and be up 30% in total viewership, that was a really strong week for Collision, coming off a really strong week for Rampage the week prior. And now there is talk that there is continuing talk that AEW is very close to securing their new deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. It feels like we've been talking about this story for months on end. My personal opinion, and I've been, keeping up with this stuff and staying on top of it, is that I believe Tony Khan believes that this is a done deal. There's no indication that there's a signed deal. There's no indication that this is officially a done deal and that they're just waiting to announce it for whatever reason. But I believe that Tony Khan believes that he has a new deal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. Episodes drop every other Monday where we discuss the biggest Joshi news, review shows, and preview the hottest upcoming Joshi action.
So whether you're a new fan or an old fan, we've got something here for you at Jumping Bomb Audio.
Check us out on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.